Whatever you need, you can count on us. So if you're ready to get started, build with us. With Hostels Building and Neva Centers, you're not just building a structure, you're building a future. Let us help you create something amazing. Dream with us, plan with us, grow with us, build with us. Come build with us at Hostels Building and Neva Centers today. Build with us at Hostels.
Let TDC Financial Services help you go for your goals. Whether you're thinking of taking that grand vacation, down payment on a house, higher education, TDC Financial Services has various plans that will allow you to go for your goals. Choose from the Accumulator Plus, Investment Starter Plan, and Fixed Deposit. Ready to go for your goals? Visit us at TDC Financial Services, where money is made easy.
This Valentine's Day, celebrate love with a taste of something truly special. From the heart of Port Zante, St. Kitts Chocolate Factory presents the Valentine's Sweet Package. 3 delightful options crafted to match your moment. Option 1, just $99. 4 handcrafted locally made chocolates. 4 chocolate dipped strawberries. A simple sweet gesture that says, I'm thinking of you. Option 2, $135, 6 gourmet chocolates, 4 chocolate dipped strawberries, 1 small teddy bear. A balanced blend of flavor and charm, perfect for sharing. Option 3, $189, 9 assorted chocolates, 6 chocolate dipped strawberries, a cuddly teddy bear. Our deluxe package for when you want to go all out. Handcrafted with love, locally made with pride, wrapped in romance, ready for you. Place your order today. WhatsApp or call 762-3232 or 764-7860. Find us at Port Zante, directly across from the marina. Just look for the sign and follow your heart. St. Kitts Chocolate Factory, where love is always in season.
Don't throw those bottles away. Turn them into money today. Vitamalt bottles equal cash in your pocket. It's super easy. Just take those empty Vitamalt bottles to any Cara Brewery distribution truck or any drinks depot in St. Kitts and Nevis. We're keeping our beautiful Twin Island paradise clean. Vitamalt bottles equal cash back. Keep it clean, keep it green. Vitamalt bottle returns. Your bottles, your cash, your island.
People make the world go.
pleasant good day. The time 7 minutes moving away from the 10 o'clock hour. And welcome to another presentation of Inside the News with the one and only Mr. Chesley Hamilton. Good day to you. And what do you have to say to us today?
Good morning, Quint. Good morning to everybody. I'm sorry that 2 weeks ago I missed the program. I had the misfortune of having a death in the family. My sister Diane passed away in Toronto, and therefore I felt it best to take some time to grieve and
Yeah, you needed that.
So my sister Diane fought a 4-year fight with cancer. She succumbed to it on the 30th of January, and therefore, I'm still reeling from it, but I'm here today because every time I take off a week, it means 2. It's almost a month that I won't be speaking or interacting.
Yeah.
So I just want to let you know that I'm here, and thanks for the support, the love, those people who send out condolences to me and the family. I appreciate it, and thanks. And if I didn't answer some, it's because there are times when it gets overwhelming, and therefore one has to step back and step away. And but I really appreciate many people reaching out to offer their condolences, etc. Thanks. And thanks to you, Quint, and to the winnfm family for also reaching out to me and understanding. Now, what do I want to speak about today? There are a number of things that are going on in the community. I know the PLP and PAM had press conferences. I know that CARICOM is coming to St. Kitts at the end of the month. I know it's Trinidad's Carnival. I know that Mia Motley just won 30 out of 30 seats, and historic victory yet again, because it's the 3rd time she has won all the seats in Barbados. I remember having a conversation with Mia when she took over the party from Owen Arthur, and then when the election was approaching, some members of the opposition felt, boy, they don't want to go with Mia, they want back Owen Arthur. And Owen Arthur came back and lost that election. Well, when that happened, when her own team ousted her, I communicated with her, and she said to me, Chesley, time longer than twine. in a typical Bajan accent, she told me, time longer than twine, leave them alone. And it so happened that Owen Arthur lost that general election. She came back. She won all the seats. And then there was a revolt to try to remove her as prime minister. When she got a wind of it, she called a snap election halfway in her mandate, got rid of the insurrection, and then won all the seats again. Now, her own party this time now said, well, you have now served 2 terms. We need to get rid of you again because you have served 2 terms. And she decided, no, I am running a 3rd time. And she has won. She ran a 3rd time, and now she has won again. And where would patriarchy and machismo cease? When would they cease? Because in truth and in fact, there's just a bunch of men who feel like this woman and this particular woman shouldn't be leading them or be doing it. The victory has more to do with them than her.
Yeah, it would seem so.
And they are doing a lot of things to replace her and to steal her thunder. And I'm happy that she has demonstrated that, listen, no male has done what I have done. None of them have won all the seats. Never mind once, twice, nor 3 times. And I've done it. And therefore, it is about time when we settle down and move forward. And I'm hoping that she can deliver for the people of Barbados and deliver for the people of the region in a transformative way and in an unprecedented, successful way. You know, the delivery of goods and services and direction and purpose. I truly think that given a chance to go the full distance, she can lend that to the people, not only of Barbados, but to the region, given her the opportunity. She's bright, she's smart, she's talented, and I think she's a good decision maker.
To the region, because I've often said you never can read what's in one's heart, and sometimes people disappoint you in the long run. But so far, I must say, not only in her country, but I don't see another leader stepping up and being vocal the way she has been. Of all the men, I hear the men I've got to say it, I hear the men whimpering, sounding like little kittens, you know, meowing. And I've said it before, she has more balls than the men. And I'm a man saying this.
Yeah, I mean, Mia came here. The first time I interacted with Mia was when she came here for the Boundaries case with Pam. That's around 2011 or so, 2009, 2010, 11, around there. And what amazed me is this. Mia is like the lawyer for lawyers. You know, you're a lawyer, but when you need a lawyer, you need a person like Mia.
Yeah.
I saw Mia dealt with the Boundaries case in Constituency 4, and she didn't make one error of geography. Of geography. I couldn't believe it. You know, you think that she will mix up something or get, you know, a box wrong or something in the constituency wrong. No. She didn't make an error of geography. I couldn't believe it. When I saw that, I said, wow. They are minds, and then they are brilliant minds.
Yeah, that means she's meticulous. Yeah.
You know, and you know, I am happy that in that case we had Mia Motley, we had Kamala Prasad Besessa, we had Kenny Anthony on the other side. We had another gentleman by the name of Hines. He's now the Leslie Haynes, sorry. He is now the Chief Justice in Barbados.
Okay.
So when you look at, you know, Denzel Douglas was the Prime Minister at the time. You had, Timothy Harris, who was with the Labour Party. You had Sean Richards on the other side, Lindsey Grant. When you look at many of the names in that case, you realize that many of them have gone on to serve at the highest level. And it really meant that not only was this case important, but it became almost the launch pad for regional prominence.
Okay.
So I just want to let you know that it was not triviality. These were some weighty matters being, there was Dr. Brown on the other side as well, Henry Brown.
Wasn't there...
Sylvester Anthony.
Yes, Sylvester. Wasn't there Astafan in there too?
Yes. Astafan out of Dominica, he was the QC that led many times for the government, that Tony. Yeah. Tony Astafan, not Tommy. Tommy is Kitchen and is in Anguilla. Tony Astafan was the QC on the other side. So when you look at the sort of brilliance and jurisprudence and the level of advocacy that were on display within our courtrooms, it was something to, I would say, to behold.
Yeah.
And we could be proud of those cases that we reach all the way to the Privy Council. Some people may not like the result or the outcome, but hey, you know, the matters that began here in 2009 has borne fruit and will continue to do so for time to come. The topic that I really want to discuss today is the issue of white slavery. Now you say white slavery, what is that? Well, it's another name for prostitution. White women being sold and traded and trafficked for sexual acts. And therefore, they call it white slavery in the definition historically. Not that it is, but I just want to show people how the nomenclature, how the naming of certain things have evolved and changed. No, we speak of slavery, and when we speak of slavery, we say, oh, that's black people being enslaved.
Yeah.
You don't say black slavery.
No.
You say slavery.
Yeah.
But when it's white people, you say white slavery.
Yeah.
Because white people ain't supposed to be enslaved. Yeah. Right?
And the white, and there's another part
now,
of it too.
The nomenclature has even involved more now to human trafficking.
Yeah.
You know, it is human beings. It's no longer slaves.
Yeah.
It's now because you know, slave, being a slave was the noun.
Yeah.
You know, so it is now human. It is not. It is not slavery. It is now human trafficking. Okay, and I would like to show people how things evolve and how they're being fed things. Now, it is human trafficking, just like there is drug trafficking, the buying and selling illegally or otherwise, and the importation and the receiving and of drugs for profit, illicit or otherwise, drug trafficking, human trafficking. So the buying and selling of humans forcefully, against their will, right, and coerced into whether poorly paid or unpaid labor. I'm just showing you off for sexual favors. And once you begin to understand what people are talking about, you hear, oh, Epstein was into human trafficking to himself. Yeah. Human trafficking? Or he plead guilty to one count of prostitution, soliciting prostitution with an underage person. You see how the nomenclature thing?
Yeah.
Oh, he had an island. Did he have slavery, white slavery, any kind of slavery on that island where people couldn't get off? What was the terms and conditions of them being there? What was the transactional aspect of it? If there was any. Were they there kidnapped? Because it's another word for kidnapping as well, eh? When you look at, for instance, in the state, this thing about the Mann Act, like the Mann, M-A-N-N, Mann Act came in because once you were transporting people across state lines for sexual favors, you needed a lot to deal with that, the kidnapping thereof. I am showing you how the nomenclature has changed and what you have to know and understand. Was this billionaire class dealing in white slavery, dealing in white prostitution to the exemption of it? Were they human trafficking? Were they buying and selling human for sexual favors? Were they doing all of this? Once you begin to put the news that is on the air into a historical context, you begin to understand the perversion, the cesspool of this billionaire class that feel that they're so entitled that no one can prosecute them because the FBI who always get their man, the investigating arm, the land of the free, the land of the brave, the land of the just, and all of those things. You can't get no justice for these victims / survivors who were bought and sold and traded because the political justice and governmental arms and institutions are there to protect who? The rich, the famous, and the wealthy in those societies. Not you, It ain't no justice for all. It ain't no equality for all. Right? And once you begin to understand that this is how society has always operated, nothing comes unless you fight, sweat, and sometimes die for it. You begin to be better informed when you go to the polls to vote. You begin to be better informed when you are selected to be a juror, to make decisions. Because just like there is no such thing as racism without a power dynamic, you must be in a position to impose your prejudice. Then there is no such thing as justice unless you understand where you fit in the powered relationship, whether you're in a minority relationship with society or you're in the majority relationship with society, where economically, numerically, and otherwise. And therefore, I want you to see how historically the naming, historically the definitions continue to shift based on who is at the top of the chain, the power chain, the economic change. You know, you were a trafficker, you were a drug dealer, until certain people get on top of the chain now. It is now medicinal marijuana. It is now medicinal and recreational and all sorts of things. Because who is at the top of the power chain? Those who only is entitled and those who are supposed to benefit. When poor average people were there were criminals, there were drug dealers, there were all kind of things. I wanted to see you and I, we were goods. We were livestock. We were bought and sold. We were entered in the diary as slaves. But who and what slaves? Human traffickers, human trafficking, human trade, the drug trade, the slave trade. I want you to begin to understand how historically this language is now recycled today in a different form. And I want you to understand that when people are imposing the visa restriction, the deportation policy, the ICE, not just ICE, not justice, the ICE immigration, customs and enforcement, when they begin to bring these things and say only them are entitled and only them supposed to benefit, you have to understand the whole evolution and where you stand as a black man or a black woman in all of this. You remember the Epstein Island said, we don't want the niggers over here. Let's keep it among us white billionaires.
Well, it's a good thing they didn't want us over there. For once, it's a good thing they didn't want us over there.
Because only they are entitled and have that kind of exceptional entitlement.
But I want to break down what you said in terms of now it is human trafficking and it is white slavery. The intention in doing that is to put that element of sympathy in there now. Before it was just slaves. So much so that there was a particular ship that was transporting slaves and they bumped into a storm and the captain told his crew members to throw the slaves overboard. Having thrown the slaves overboard, he went into Britain and he claimed from insurance that his cargo, he had lost his cargo, and he got compensated.
Because they were trade. It was livestock. It's like throwing, anyone's throwing some animals overboard, sheep or goat. You're offloading your cargo.
Yeah.
You see, the slave trade, the human trade, the buying and selling of other humans, that was his trade. That was his the industry that he was in. And therefore he was entitled to compensation. That is why today when at the end of slavery, the plantation owners and the people who were in the trade got compensated.
That's it.
They got compensated for the loss of their industry and the loss of their goods, the loss of their businesses.
While to this day, Mr. Chesley Hamilton, we are still asking for reparations, and they're
But
still
until the
denying.
blacks in America start to raise the issue of reparations, right, we're not going to level this playing field, you know.
But hear this, the
We're
blacks.
not going to level this playing field.
But the blacks in America are now dividing themselves. You're now hearing about original or foundational blacks. And they're saying foundational blacks are the only one who are entitled and all kind of. And we continue to perpetrate the divide even among ourselves.
But it's going to continue, but it must reach a crescendo. It must reach a plateau where you know, once you start to push and push until there is a groundswell, right? Until people begin to say, listen to me, everybody has gotten compensation. The internment of the Japanese, compensation. The Jews for the Holocaust, compensation. Native Americans, certain compensation and giving back of some land. The only people that are not entitled, cannot get any sort of reparations or compensation are the blacks who were bought and sold and brought here for the exploitation of the energies, the strength, the labor, to build the wealth of many of these countries. And therefore, until you begin to march around these walls of Jericho, until the walls come tumbling down, we are not going to see
But the question,
the
Mr.
equality and
Chesley
justice
Hamilton,
that we deserve.
we're going to take a break soon, but the question is, Mr. Hamilton, why is it that of all the people, we are the ones who have not been compensated? Why?
It is multifaceted. It is multifaceted.
I propose the main reason is because even during those years of our servitude, remember they tried everyone. They even tried their own first. Then they indentured the Indians. And in that servitude, even though they used their guns and their whips to keep us in bondage, they realized one thing that they knew all along. We are the more resilient than all of them. They can twist it, they can turn it, they can try to deny it. There is a level of, and I'm going to say the word, there is a level of superiority within the black gene that no other race has. And I've said recently, the most insecure race that is walking the face of this earth today is the white race or the Caucasian race. It takes a very insecure people to make it, to go out of their way, to dominate and force their presence on everyone else. Look at us. Recently, a caller referred to an experiment done recently where a black man pretended to be blind, put on his dark shades, and went into a metropolitan place among the whites. And he would walk and try to hold to a white and entice them to lead him. And every single one of those whites turned him down. And then they went and they got a white man now to do the same thing, put on his dark shades, pretend that you are blind, and go and see if you can get black people to help you. And every black person helped that man. You know what that says about the people who have been in bondage, beaten down for 400 years plus? Within us, we don't have that hatred, that deep-rooted hatred.
Well. Many of the whites who have been in America, they are scared that they're becoming a minority in North America.
That's yeah.
And they are scared because they are scared of retaliation and so on. But if you look at South Africa, when Nelson Mandela and the majority became into it, there was truth and reconciliation.
Yeah.
I mean, that is an example that we're not there for
We don't carry that continuous hatred.
we're not there for that retaliation and okay, it's our turn now, so therefore we're gonna put our foot on your neck and make sure that you get extinct and get rid of you or keep you down and oppress you. We're not about retaliation, but they feel that way because they can't get that out of their system.
Yeah.
They cannot get it out of their heads, their minds, and their heart, no matter which God they serve. Whether it's a white Jesus or a black Jesus, because based on where he was born, they had a problem convincing anybody that he was blue-eyed blonde and came from that part of the world when he did. But that is what they have to do in order to reinforce the myth of their superiority.
Yeah.
And therefore, I'm not even going to be, I don't want to be totally sidetracked in terms of the dynamic, but I really want to let people understand. Don't let the news tell you about human trafficking, and we are so concerned about human trafficking, and what is human trafficking? So if I take a flight from here to another island, somebody is trafficking me? No, because you're transporting me. What is it? Do not let this language, this tidy up of the language, because and who is involved, pull wool over your eyes.
Yeah.
When white people is involved, you're trafficking. It is not the exploitation of anybody it's not kidnapping and slavery. When black people is involved, it's a crime and it's criminality. It's the same thing. The drug trade is there to keep the brown and the black people not being able to be farmers or being able to be manufacturers or being able to trade with what product or goods they produce. You realize cane and molasses and sugar were all produced to some extent in the Caribbean. But when it comes to the rum and the whiskey and all of those things were coming from North America.
Yeah.
I mean, there are people here in St. Kitts who knew how to distill rum and Hammond and these sort of things, but just couldn't be legitimate. These guys would have been multimillionaires today with their names.
But the law was
from being in the manufacturing field.
They were called moonshiners.
Yeah.
And all kind of stuff.
And what prisons and they became criminals.
Yeah.
And all I'm simply saying to them, even today, in the year 2026, our government needs to make sure that there is a lab, that if a man steals some Hammond, you can take his Hammond to the lab to be tested and say, well, this is 40% proof, this is 80% proof, and put on a label and they will put it on a shelf. That is what the government should be helping to produce in terms of these agro-processing and manufacturing industries.
Hold your thought. Let's take that commercial break, and when we come back, I want you to get right back into where you are right now.
WINN is 98.9. 98.9 is Win FM.
If you need protection, you need one who you can trust. To secure your investment, you need one who'll do you just. TDC Insurance, you're the one that you can trust. TDC Insurance, you're always safe with us. TDC Insurance is your go-to insurance company for all your insurance needs. We take pride in offering you the best solutions and ensuring our customers are fully satisfied. TDC Insurance, we take good care of you, guaranteeing you peace of mind. You're always safe with us.
Don't Don't throw those bottles away. Turn them into money today. Vitamalt bottles equal cash in your pocket. It's super easy. Just take those empty Vitamalt bottles to any Cara Brewery distribution truck or any drinks depot in St. Kitts and Nevis. We're keeping our beautiful Twin Island paradise clean. Vitamalt bottles equal cash back. Keep it clean, keep it green. Vitamalt bottle returns. Your bottles, your cash, your island.
This Valentine's Day, celebrate love with a taste of something truly special. From the heart of Port Zante, St. Kitts Chocolate Factory presents the Valentine's Sweet Package. 3 delightful options crafted to match your moment. Option 1, just $99. 4 handcrafted locally made chocolates. 4 chocolate dipped strawberries. A simple sweet gesture that says, I'm thinking of you. Option 2, $135. 6 gourmet chocolates. 4 chocolate dipped strawberries. 1 small teddy bear. A balanced blend of flavor and charm, perfect for sharing. Option 3, $189. 9 assorted chocolates, 6 chocolate dipped strawberries, a cuddly teddy bear. Our deluxe package for when you want to go all out. Handcrafted with love, locally made with pride, wrapped in romance, ready for you. Place your order today. WhatsApp or call 762-3232 or 764-7860. Find us at Port Zante, directly across from the marina. Just look for the sign and follow your heart. St. Kitts Chocolate Factory, where love is always in season.
Come, build with us at Hostels Building and Nevis Centers. We don't just sell materials, we help you build your dreams. Whether it's a new home, a renovation, or a DIY project, we're here to make it happen. That's why we say, build with us. From foundation to finish, come to our stores where we have the best in building materials, hardware, tools, paints, expert advice, and more. Whatever you need, you can count on us. So if you're ready to get started, build with us. With Hostels Building and Nevis Centers, you're not just building a structure, you're building a future. Let us help you create something amazing. Dream with us, plan with us, grow with us, build with us. Come build with us at Hostels Building and Nevis Centers today. Build with us at Hostels.
And the time in the studios is 10:39. Before I let you back in, Mr. Hamilton, I'm going to go back to that part in terms of trafficking and touch that part where this captain threw slaves overboard and then went and got compensation. The legal system, this is in the UK, in England, the legal system didn't say to him, those were human beings you threw overboard. That was murder. So we can't compensate you.
Yeah.
Those individuals were chattel. That is the name. Chattel, which means they were a commodity, just like sheep and goat and cattle. That is how they termed us. But all of a sudden now we hear about human trafficking because they put the human in there so that you can have sympathy and you say, oh, those are human beings. But when he threw those slaves overboard, they were less than human beings. But I want you now to go back to where you were in terms of moonshine and that kind of stuff, because that shows that our leaders lack guts and imagination. They met laws in there that were designed to keep down their people. They come in, they put on the very same cloak, they wear the very same wigs, and they continue the very same legal system instead of empowering their people, you know. This is industry we're talking about now, you know.
Liberating your people and going all the way. And I know sometimes when I speak about these things, people want to know, well, Chesley, what side are you on? Because you may ask me, well, what happened? You're in favor of human trafficking? What I want to ask you is this. When they were raping black women on the plantation, wasn't it rape?
That's it.
You know, today you know have some red or some light-skinned babies all over the place, and you feel, oh, you got good color and you got good hair. And you are sometimes the victim of rape.
Yeah.
That's why that happened. You are victim of rape on a plantation. And that is the gene that has been passed on to you. I don't want you not to feel proud of yourself, but I want you to understand that women were raped. Black women were raped. They were less than human. And then their children were raped.
But Chesley,
when you hear now about on the Epstein Island, there was a 9-year-old. This is not new.
This is not new.
This is not new. When you hear trading in underage, yeah, you know, so all these this outrage, right? Congress must make sure that the things are redacted. Where is Congress? Right? 250 years later, right? 250 years later of the founding of America. Where is Congress? Where black women were raped?
But Chesley, there's another dark side.
And up to
to
now,
it, you know.
not one have been compensated.
Chesley, there's another dark side to it that we do not want to touch. They raped our men also. They called it buck breaking. Go into your history book and you see it. They did that when they brought those big men from Africa who they knew were strong and could overpower them. And they subdued them in front of all of those other slaves that they had there on the plantation. It was called buck breaking. And today they want to legalize that. You understand? I mean, look, the history is a dark history, you know. And what you're trying to say, Mr. Chesley, is they are inconsistent. They are not consistent with the laws and the rules. It fits one point, and at another point, it doesn't fit. All of a sudden now, because it's perhaps the Democrats against the Republicans, there's we have to go for justice. But as you said, 400 years and counting. A lot of them aren't even apologizing for what they did.
And I went silent because you're just bringing it full circle, Quint. And I'm happy that you have. You know, sometimes, you know, there's nothing you could usefully add. And what you were saying was profound. And
Yeah.
that's why I went silent.
Yeah, well,
Because
it's the part that we don't want to look at, you know, Chesley.
No, but one of the hallmark papers that I wrote when I was in university was a paper on chromaticisms. Chromaticisms. Chrome is a color spectrum.
Yes.
So I was dealing with things like white lie and white elephant,
Yes, yeah.
and so on, and black ball and black and
Black magic and
yes,
so
and
many
everything to do with black. And then I go to yellow fever and yellow dog, you know,
Yeah.
and things like that. And then you were blue-eyed, a blue-collar worker.
Yeah.
I just want to show you how color
even
is used.
blue-collar crime.
Yes, and white-collar crime, you know. And I want to show you how color is used in the language.
Yes.
You were caught red-handedly.
Yes.
You know, and things like that. So when it comes to red is bad.
Yeah.
When it comes to black is bad.
Yeah.
When
Yellow
it comes
is
to
bad.
blue is good.
Yeah.
Green is good.
Yeah.
You know, white is even best. I ain't gonna even say better. You understand? So once you understand how color is used in the language, you know, it is not extortion, it was blackmail.
Yeah.
You have to understand all of these things. And I am glad that you used the word, it's a dark history.
Yes.
You didn't say it's a black history. So I just want to let you know, you got your chromaticisms correctly.
Intentionally so.
And I just wanted to go through that, to point it out, so that the people must understand how color is used properly in the language.
Yes.
Because if you use it poorly, it is like when you use sexist language.
Yes.
You could use color inappropriate language as well. And therefore, chromaticisms is something that you must look every way you can see it.
Yeah, we have a caller.
Right.
Hello, caller.
Yes, good morning to everybody.
Good morning.
Good morning, and greetings once more in Jesus Christ's name, the only Savior of sinners from their sins and from hell, by true faith only, by the gospel only, according to the word of God only. Now, something you said earlier, not too long ago, that I would like to make a comment on it, a biblical comment on it. You see, the Bible says in 2 Corinthians chapter 5, verse 17, therefore, if anyone is in Christ, he is a new creation. All things passed away. Behold, new things have come. And I read from the Legacy Standard Bible, LSB, the shortened form, LSB. Now, that shows you whether a person is white, so-called white, so-called black, or so-called yellow, or whatever, red, whatever. Once a person is in Christ, they have become a new creature, and they have become a new creation. All things have passed away for that person, and behold, new things have come to that person. Once a person is truly in Christ and is a true Christian. So that is what the God of the Bible does to all people who are in Jesus Christ. And the problem is what many people consider to be Christian, the Bible rejects as Christian. That is part of the problem. But when a person is true Christian, they are made a new creation in Jesus Christ. Now, I would like to ask Chesley. I see somebody here was charged with sacrilege, okay? Now, we know sacrilege is the violation of things that are regarded to be sacred. That sort of stuff. The violation of such, misuse, abuse of such. But somebody here was charged with sacrilege. Now, what in St. Kitts would be sacrilege, considered to be sacrilege that a person could be charged with? I am guessing maybe stealing from a church, that's my guess. But, you know, you could clear it up. And lastly, I would like to ask Chesley, what is his opinion on Kamala's positions concerning what America is doing to Venezuela and so on and so on? You know, she have made statements concerning, you know, to the Caribbean countries, concerning America, concerning Venezuela treatment by America and that sort of stuff. What are your opinion on her statements? Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Greg. I'll answer well, I think you answered yourself when it comes to the sacrilege part. So I'm not going to go into anything more.
I want you to gloss over it, though, so that others who didn't get it get clarity, because you would be able to explain.
Sacrilege, I don't want to give a perfect definition, but he touched all the elements. It is normally stealing or a crime against, I don't want to say the church, because it might be other religious organizations. I don't want to be specific, but sacrilege is normally related to crimes that are committed against the church, like stealing, larceny against the church and so on. Yeah. So I don't have a specific definition with me, and I don't want to get into the particulars, and I omit one part of it, and which I should know specifically. I don't like to deal with things in abstract and like that. But I think he basically touched on all of the elements of sacrilege that I could take off the top of my head.
Yeah.
Now, the other issue is the Kamala issue?
No, there was one before that. There was another one. I can't even remember. But you can touch the Kamala. Because
and Venezuela. I have always said, and I said it here, that I don't see why we can't have 2 or 3 different policies dealing with the same issue in the Caribbean. Unanimity isn't necessarily strength. Let me say it again. Unanimity is not necessarily strength. So it is quite right for anyone to say, well, the Caribbean is a zone of peace, and we see the Caribbean as a zone of peace, and we do not want this. It is okay for some countries in the Caribbean to be aligned with America and want to be consistent with the American foreign policy heights doctrine. And there's some people, it's okay for some countries in it to say, listen to me, we believe in the Soviet way of doing things, or the Soviet and communist way of doing things, and we want to be aligned with those. And it's okay for some countries in the Caribbean to say, we are non-aligned. I don't see anything wrong with that. But you must do what is in the best interest of your people and your country. So I do not see anything wrong in anybody articulating their own policy. We do not have to be all marching to the same job. They let people say, oh, we're not united, we are divided. It doesn't mean that.
But Chesley, even though I hear you, I understand what you're saying, but the United States doesn't take it as that.
I know. And that is why we have to be able to and I don't use this word, we have to be able to be multifaceted when we're dealing with the United States. We can't all Marxism and then they put us all in the same barrel box. They have to begin to say, boy, no, we can't. We have to respect Cuba. Look at what they're doing with Cuba right now.
Man, that breaks my heart.
Look at what they're doing with Cuba right now. I want to see if Canada is going to let that happen and continue. Or Canada is going to say, listen to me, I am sending oil to Cuba. Because it's being Canada. Canada has always bucked the trend when it came to how the U.S. dealt with Cuba. Pierre Trudeau, which is Justin Trudeau's dad, has always dealt with Castro. Always.
You know, it breaks my heart to see that a Caribbean archipelago of islands will sit back and watch the United States starve a brother and sister, starve them to death. And we sit back and say, well, you know, America is our friend, we're enemies of none, you know, that kind of nonsense. Hello, caller.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good day.
Especially morning.
Morning. Happy New Year.
Same. For a moment, I thought you were going to get an attack of something, man. Just a while ago, you were so passionate.
Yeah. Quinn tend to bring that out of me. Sometimes he stump people by asking them what their budget is. Sometimes he stump people, but he make me go quiet sometimes.
Okay. Well, the thing is, though, you have that knack of raising ants' nests.
Thanks.
The bottom line is, though, the funny thing is, you'll find practically everybody, all your listeners, agreeing with you. Right? There's no two ways about it. Everything you say is correct.
But Mr. McMahon, they might very well agree with him behind closed doors. The question is, will they be bold enough to agree with him in public, in the public domain?
That is what I was coming to. Right?
I told you, he's just an engineer. He's just a journalist pretending to be an engineer.
Careful now. Next thing you say, he's a CIA plant.
No, not Rasta. Oh no. He can tell you that is a rat race.
Yeah, most definitely.
Well, but you're right. I mean, the thing is, you're right. Yet, the fact that you're right don't bring justice.
That is true.
That is one of the toughest things to live with. You know you're right. Everybody else know you're right, including your oppressor. But it does not move the ball 1 inch. Okay? And that, I think, is what frustrates a lot of people into either just giving up
But that is what you have to tell the next generation.
Yeah.
You have to tell the generation, nobody promised you fairness. Life isn't fair. Life isn't fair. And anybody told you it is was lying to you.
Yeah. And
But that doesn't mean that you must give up or not support the next generation or try to break the cycle of poverty or try to break the cycle of dependency. And you must begin to deal with generational wealth and passing it forward and these sort of things. You cannot give up. What if those who were enslaved gave up? Where would we be?
I always ask that question, you know.
And didn't fight. So it is incumbent upon us to move the ball. We must fight. I must come here and talk truth to power. As difficult as it is for me to say some of these things, I have to come here and talk about it. Because, hey, remember, I'm a male in a patriarchal world, you know.
Yeah.
I could just benefit from patriarchy and sit back,
Yeah.
you know, and machismo, and say women supposed to stay where they are and, blah, 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 and be all about that. But I cannot.
But you
the
cannot.
Friend, the enemy of your enemy is your ally.
But here's why you cannot, Chesley. You cannot, because even though you are male and we are male, when you go back to the history of Africa, it was never the way the colonialists put it. You understand? You look back at the history of Africa where our women were not segregated against, were not pushed aside, and they had roles to play.
But
lean
the people who have disinfect our history, Mary and Martha and Mary Magdalene and they played a significant role.
Definitely.
At that time of our history and our development and Christianity. But to some extent they were written out. And only the men, the 12 men, the disciples were brought towards you.
Not to some extent. They designated them whores and women of ill repute and prostitute. Look at how they label Mary Magdalene.
I'm just basically showing you I am not going to be a sexist patriarch. I'm going to show you we're women and that my mother is my Shio and you know for raising 4 of us and allowing us to be where we are today and be able to achieve what she achieved. And it's up to me to achieve a little bit more than her so that I could pass on to the next generation a little bit more. And it is incumbent upon them to do better than I did and pass it forward and play it forward. That is how you create generational wealth and pass it forward. I'm just basically saying all of this because, you know, we're touching a lot of things because we're dealing with the definition and the evolution of language. And the entitlement of a certain class and a certain hue and a certain color and how that is now permeating our news and so on. And I really want people to look at it critically and say, where am I in all of this? Why am I not benefiting? Why only those set of people benefiting? Why justice is slanted in that way, are tilting that way? And I want them to question these things and call upon their leaders to lead. Because if they don't lead, they're going to create the opportunities for generation to come.
Yeah.
And that is what I want. I want us to create opportunity for our people more than anyone. I do not have to be in elected politics to do it. If I come here, I am going to add to the universal discourse so that when our people are engaging one another, whether they are asked to judge them as jurors or asked to judge when election they come, they will make sure that they are informed enough to say, if you're not acting in our best interest, we cannot support you. It's not about enriching yourself or your family or other, or the same old, or putting money with old money.
Okay, Mr. Chesley, let me sum up more.
Sorry, you get me wind up.
No,
I really love what is going on in Africa, Mr. McMahon. I love what is happening in Burkina Faso. I love what is happening with the younger generation in Africa in terms of how they are moving money, how they're dealing with technology, how they're dealing with their resources, because once we start to plug into that too in this Pan-African way, it's going to help us for the next generation.
Did you see an interview with Tucker Clark and some African leaders?
No, I didn't.
You need to see that. Go ahead, Mr. McMahon.
Go ahead, Mr. McMahon.
Yeah. Again, what I'm going to say is that you're preaching to the converted, but the converted are not willing to engage in the prescriptions that you're offering.
Well, I'm going to repeat it and 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 repeat it until it becomes part of the subconscious.
Repetition is a good teacher, but it does not always work, and it does not always work in the time frame that you want it to work, right? And what I'm saying is, when it is so much easier for even the converted to just say, to hell with it, let me drown my sorrows in whether it be music festival or carnival or whatever, what other distractions there are, and forget about it. Because everyone would say, I cannot save the world. Okay? It's the world that is messed up, as you said just a while ago. The world is not fair. I can't do it. Think it's a Nevis can't do it. CARICOM can't do it. So might as well take the path of least resistance and live my life. You know.
And I will say to that. Let me tell you what I'll say to that.
Upcoming.
Start with.
Why you think?
Start
why
with
you
you.
think?
Start
why
with
do
you.
you think?
If you could change you, somebody else
Sure.
may see your example and say, "Boy, if he could change, I could change."
But there have been lots of examples before, and how has it changed?
But
There've been
still
lots
start
of-
with you.
There've been more Mandela.
Start with you. You don't give up on you. You don't give up on you. Start with
Fine,
you.
yes,
If you could make
fine.
one person happy in this world, and that one person is you, you have done something.
And if doing that means being selfish, what do you do? Because that is
I like that definition.
That is what
Acting in the interest of self is not selfish. Being selfish means you must act to the detriment of somebody. It is not selfish. Acting in the interest of self is not necessarily selfish.
But it's not easy to identify that interest. That interest.
I know,
Okay?
but I'm glad you brought up that.
You're talking about words, huh?
It's not words.
Look how easy it was for the United States to define human trafficking is synonymous with the medical brigade. Easy as that. And what can anybody do about it? And you know why they can't do anything about it? You know, you said something in a previous show, and never did really tackle you about it, but it always stuck with me. I think it was with the Attorney General when you were looking at some transgressions that he did, and said, well, he has the power, and if you don't use it, you don't have the power. Okay?
I know you're paraphrasing, but I get the gist of what you're saying.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And I remember.
Yeah, right. And that is that is you could have said that is the bottom line. If somebody has the power to do something, as right now, where the United States is all powerful, not a soul could challenge it. Okay, it's a case of might is right. How do you fight might is right?
But you see, Mr. McMahon, you scare me a lot of the times when you speak. The reason why you scare me is that you're so persistent in pushing that might is right and that we have no other recourse, that you're subliminally sending the message that we do not want sent. You're consistently, whenever we say even if we're going to pinch, we're going to bite, we're going to scratch, whatever means we're going to show as a form of resistance, you keep coming and saying, but might is right. You might as well just go and enjoy your carnival and live your life. But history has shown, and the trajectory that we're on, if we just go and make it be business as usual, I can guarantee you that in the next X amount of years, we will be back in servitude again.
Soil erosion is one of the most powerful forces on earth. And all it does is take out a grain of sand.
That's it, bit by bit.
One grain of sand, one grain of sand, one grain of sand. And over time, you might be surprised
to
how
see
much is
the
moved.
damage that is done. Yeah,
You understand? So I like what you're saying, because might be right. Because there's a power dynamic towards everything. And that is why I was. You could be as prejudiced as you want, Mr. McMahon. You could be as prejudiced as you want. But if you do not have the collective force or power to implement or to put your prejudice on your biases, imposed it on somebody, what good is it to you?
Exactly. And that is the point I'm making.
What good is it to you?
It is not
so that is why you have to always come with the power dynamic and say, listen to me, I am not racist. I may not like that person, but I'm not a racist. That person is racist because not only are they of a different hue and color, but they have the means and the wherewithal to impose their prejudice upon me. It is that power dynamic that makes them racist. Take away that and they're not. They're just another hater.
I totally agree. And that is what Quint, I don't understand.
So therefore, I'll bring it full circle and say, when you spoke about the Attorney General, I said the Attorney General is exercising power. He has the power and the entitlement to do certain things and to get away with it. And therefore, that is what you have to recognize. I didn't say whether it was right or wrong.
And you
remember
and you did give us both sides.
I remember too, Quint.
Yes.
Wait. Hold on a minute.
God.
You don't rationalize things. You're not supposed to rationalize things like that.
I'm a lawyer.
Listen, hear me out. You don't want to rationalize things like that by saying, well, he has the power, right? Mm-hmm. And because he has the power, that makes him right.
I didn't say he was right.
You have to come out straight from the beginning and say, this is wrong. Now, but
Mr. McMahon, if you listen to the Mr. McMahon, if you listen to the show, go back and listen to it, because I called him on it and he gave both sides. He said, even apart, he said, I can give you both sides, you know. You said I can give you both sides. So having done that, because I listened to him and I, just like you, was concerned. So I asked him, and then he said, I'm not saying that he's right. And then he flipped it and showed you the negative part of it. Amen. As to who were the advisors, whether he was taking heed, and so on and so forth.
I knew how I dealt with it.
But what I'm saying is, when you do things like that, you confuse the issue. I am saying, come straight out first and say something is wrong. Mm-hmm. Having said that, and make that absolute, having said that, you then can come and say, but because whatever circumstances, whether it's because they're all powerful or whatever, they are exercising that power on the side of wrong. Don't confuse people. That's what I'm saying, and that's what I'm saying.
And I guess for you, wrong and right are absolutes.
Excuse me.
I agree that there are many shades of gray.
Hold a minute, Mr. McMahon.
Let Greg come in.
Yeah, I don't have much credit. Let me ask quickly. Mr. Hamilton, am I understanding you correct with your previous statement in reply to me to be saying that if Kamala and other leaders in the Caribbean takes America's side in what they're doing against Venezuela, Cuba, and other countries, that those Caribbean leaders are correct too for taking America's side? Am I understanding you correctly?
I didn't say they are correct. I am simply saying they're doing what they think are in the best interest of them.
Do you think it's wrong?
Huh?
don't you think it's wrong for them to take America's side in what America is doing in the Caribbean? And by the way, let me say also quickly, Mary Magdalene is a good example of when a person.
Oh, his credit is finished.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
I'm sure he was going to be negative because
No,
he's
no, no,
usually
no. That's
negative
all right.
with
That's
those
okay.
women.
That's okay. That's okay.
Here's what people don't seem to understand sometimes when we speak. We're speaking about real, being real, living in a real world. And what Mr. Chesley was saying, we may not agree with her stance, but she has a right to make that stance.
And put it this way, she's in a unique position where she is. I said to you, her foreign policy, 80% of her trade is with the United States. She wants Exxon to be part of her future going forward, just like it is in Guyana. And therefore, she will align her ship with the U.S. policies. And that is working for her. No. I don't see anything. You have to do what is in the best interest of your country. And I do not see anything that you should be. I'm not judging. I'm not saying that America is right to bomb and to blow up unarmed ships in the Caribbean Sea. And she's not saying that either. And the two Trinidad persons who died are suing the government of the United States.
I disagree with you on that. She was saying that. She said, what? Destroy them. She used some words that I can't remember the exact word, but she was for them being blown up in there.
If they were drug traffickers, but once you find out that these old fishermen and the families are now being suing in the U.S. courts, that too is now being supported.
Yeah. Hello, caller.
Yeah. Greg was making the same point, right? Because this is, I guess, what I'm uneasy about, and maybe Greg is the same in that respect. There seems to be nothing called principle. Everything is about convenience, and as soon as you go down that road, it's a road to destruction, because anything goes. Right? Everything goes.
And I agree, Mr. McMahon, but sometimes you puzzle me because I can't understand where you're standing. Because you have to correct.
Right.
You have to correct me if I'm not speaking about Kamala, because I'm completely in agreement with you on your stance with Kamala, right? Mr. Chesley, he has a more personal relationship with her. He have a sympathetic part that he will, that comes across.
And so I want him to answer the principal part of it. But yeah, go ahead.
But here's what I'm saying. Here's where you puzzle me, because I don't agree with Kamala's stance, but she has a right to have it. This is what democracy is all about, and this is where we keep messing up things. This is where, in one instance, America preaches democracy and yet still comes and tell you, don't let the Cubans come to your place. Take your students out of there. The hypocrisy. And this is what I'm asking in terms of you two, because you give me the impression sometimes that you're saying, because America is powerful, even when they're wrong, we must acquiesce.
Never. No. Absolutely. Well, you're getting the very.
That's
very
why I
wrong
say you
impression.
have to correct me, because that's the impression I tend to get. Because you keep pushing and saying, but what other choice you have? But what other choice you have? Doesn't that mean that you're subliminally suggesting that we need to give in?
No, it is not.
Okay,
well. You have to, how to put it, cut your garment to fit the cloth or whatever it is. It's strategizing, okay? That is why I said it comes back to principle. You first be grounded in principle, right? The principle is this is a wrong policy, okay? But the bottom line is, as was seen in Venezuela, as we are about to see in Iran, and maybe Cuba after, I don't know which one we're going to come first, okay? The reality on the ground is, even though there is, it's a double standard in terms of how they implement their foreign policy, Okay? The fact is, because they have the power to do it, it's going to get done. It isn't that I would never agree with.
And I agree with you. But here's what I say. I always say, you have the power. You're going to do it. It's going to get done. But I'm also saying that me in my little way will hit you where it hurts, and another person in their little way will hit you where it hurts. And when I say hit you where
I'm not disputing that.
Okay.
No, we agree on that as well.
Yeah.
All I'm saying, because I remember when we had that discussion.
Yes.
I was just said that was one of the reasons for the success of this struggle, the freedom struggle in Africa.
Yes.
Right. It was mainly a guerrilla war. They were fighting.
Yeah, I don't like when you I don't like when you understand a thing and then you make it too obvious. You understand?
Hold on.
Mr. Chesley, you want to make an input?
I want to put this in the mix, okay? I was in Independence Square when Maduro came here and brought $25 million, whether it is US or EC, or 16 million. How much it was?
15 or something like that.
You understand? Whether it's US or EC, he was there. He was there for us. He was there for our sugar workers and to give them that bonus and back pay.
He was.
You okay? When the oil price was going through the roof, okay, we got oil for credits. You understand? And he sent Venezuela oil up here for us.
Yeah.
All that is going on with the U.S. and Venezuela, I ain't hear one person say.
That's what I'm saying.
I ain't hear one person say, we stand by Venezuela. Listen to me.
None of them.
Everybody saying
let
the
me
same
finish.
thing. Everybody agree. So everybody agree that we can actually say that we don't agree with something.
You want me speak
something
truth to power. You want me say, I ain't hear no leader say, the United States is wrong. I ain't hear not one of them say, United States, you are wrong to bomb our good friend and partner, Venezuela. I ain't hear nobody say that.
That is what I'm saying.
But you want Chesley say that.
But that is what Prince said he doesn't understand. Obviously,
I show you
policy.
that Kamala has been consistent. When we were going to Venezuela, nobody was going to Trinidad, you know. When we were going to Venezuela, it was to the exclusion of Trinidad and Tobago.
Trinidad already said that they didn't want us anyway.
No. You're pivoting now. You're pivoting now.
No. It ain't a pivoting.
You're pivoting now. Because I am going to say to you, this statement about ATM, that Trinidad is not the ATM of the Caribbean. As unfortunate as it was that it came when one of those Windward Islands went through a hurricane, as unfortunate as it was, the bigger point was when Trinidad gives money to people, no matter what it is, it ends up in a government or a party's account with no accountability to the people and the taxpayers of Trinidad. And that was the point that she was making.
But Mr.
I am not here just to give you money.
But Mr. Chesley, I didn't know that. I'm only now
point.
knowing that
That's the
now
point.
you're saying it.
That's the point. We only
She should have said that.
And therefore, for her to say she has to account to the people of Trinidad for the money that she gives, it's not just, it's not a ATM that you just withdraw and take it and go and do what you have to do. She has to account.
You don't get away with that. No way.
Oh, okay. You want to tell me what I get away with? In defense of my client.
You hear.
You want to tell me what I get away with?
You hear.
I am telling you what was the broader point. The broader point was you don't just take up Trinidad and Tobago taxpayers' money and send it to you without accountability.
Okay,
I am in position and suffering from those other things.
And Mr. Chesley,
what is the broader point?
Mr. McMahon, hold a while, and Mr. Chesley, hold a while. I don't want it to get to where we don't understand each other. But here's what I'm going to say. On what Mr. McMahon says, I don't disagree because we have seen it. And this is why, Mr. Hamilton, our leaders can turn their face and kick you under the bus.
Amen.
Because they can take from their colleagues and have no intention of paying back, as if though, what do you think, this is a gift?
But it doesn't even go to the people sometimes. It ends up in the party's campaign fund.
That is what I'm saying. But here's what I want. And this is why we as the people do not know what is happening and we can't defend you. If that is the case, then be blunt and say, we keep giving you the leaders, and then we don't see it benefiting your people. And we are not, therefore, we're not the ATM for the Caribbean. And then we would understand. But when you just say it like that, I'm in the same boat with Mr. McMahon.
I am totally with you, and I understand.
Yeah.
That is why I'm here to make the broader point.
Okay.
No, okay. So make the broader point with this one then, okay? Because another thing that she did, she came in there and met an agreement essentially with the OECS. Who was her predecessor again? Was it
Rowley?
Who?
Rowley?
No.
Manning?
Predecessor, not successor. Huh?
Rowley, Manning, who?
Might have been Manning. Was it Manning?
I know.
Yeah, it
I'm
could have
not
been
too
Manning.
sure. I'm not too
Right.
sure. I don't remember names.
But anyway, he met an agreement in place for the settlement of the Bico-Clico issue. And what she did was essentially bail out the Trinidad investors there, okay, and throw the rest of the OECS under the bus, okay? So let me hear your rationale for that. In other words, she basically said, to hell with the rest of y'all, I can look after my people here.
But
Mr.
McMahon, because of what Chesley stated before, I wouldn't disagree with her.
What do you mean you wouldn't disagree with her?
Because she has a history of showing because if Mr. Chesley is right, and I don't see where he would be wrong, but if you are in a position, what the old people say, if you act like a mule, people will ride you like a mule. So if you're in a position where you're giving people and you're forced to make a veiled statement and not go in detail and say, we are not the ATM for people, does that not mean that you have experienced a level of hurt that down the line when you're in a position you say, to hell with them, because they don't meet the demands that you go out on a limb for them and then...
You see,
but I do believe that
we should be grounded in
principle. Principle is a mutual thing, Mr. McMahon.
But I do believe Mr. McMahon is
Mr.
wrong.
McMahon, principle is a mutual thing.
It is Rowley and the PNM.
The situation with St. Vincent, okay? That was not across the board.
But you said across the board. You said she disregarded everyone else.
That's what the first instance with the hurricane and whatever thing that was specific to St. Vincent. This was an agreement she met in place,
but
and deliberately hurt the other shareholders in the region, and just took care of.
Look,
the one
if I'm Mr. McMahon, you know that when you're going to court with a case, you don't use all over, all the other lawyer, the defense has to do is bring cases that validate their point. And Mr. Hamilton's point is valid. His point is this. You have already, mind you, I do not support Camilla, unlike Mr. Chesley. He has a relationship with her. But I'm saying on the merit of what he put forward, I have to lean towards understanding why she would do such. Let's look at another example. Well, look at that man who came down here. And he helped the Caribbean team. What was his name? So he's in prison. Stanford. Look at what he did. The rest of the world didn't care about West Indies cricket. West Indies was going down. He came, pushed money in, and showed the world, and now they're using his template, to make money. But what did the rest of the Caribbean do soon as they put a thing to his name? They said, all of them stepped back and threw the man under the bus. Here's what I would have done. I would have at least said, look, I'm not sure about the things that you say about him, but what I do know is that he came and he did good by me. None of them said that. Not one of them.
And no, that is not the same.
It is the same. It is the same.
Really? You see, Quinn, and Chesley. Because I want to hear Chesley.
Let me put Stanford in the broader context. Can I put Stanford in the broader context? Stanford was a Republican. As soon as Obama came to office, Stanford was dead meat. Stanford acted both Stanford was a double agent, acting for the U.S. government on issues and for his own benefit on other issues. Okay?
You seem to have a lot of information that a lot of people don't have.
But I'm just saying to you, this is known. This is known that Stanford showed South America. Look at when Stanford got in trouble as soon as Obama came to office. Because Stanford was being protected by the Republicans. As soon as Obama came to office, Stanford was dead meat. But here is where somebody could have stepped up. Stanford was given Sir Alan Stanford. You think somebody say, okay, we will have a prisoner exchange, and Stanford could spend his time in an Antigua jail as opposed to some because of all that he have done. We united this man. Could we have an exchange rather than give him all those years? Could he come and spend his life sentence by us? Yeah. No. Everybody runs for the hills.
No.
And everybody run for the hills.
And they're doing it with Cuba now too. With all that Cuba has done, every one of them are standing on the sideline and watching Cuba go down.
Stanford made millions.
They have no. They have no. Look.
They have a right to do that. And I would ask him this straight out. Well, two things. One, I agree that there's an undercurrent of racism in things like foreign policy and so on. And there is this thing about, the U.S. calls it exceptionalism. And essentially, this is being displayed right here, okay? And it's I just read something about the West would never allow China. It would feel threatened by a Chinese superpower, okay? Because it's a matter of racism. It's all right for Russia and those countries up there having thing, but once it's non-black, it's a problem, right? But in addition to that, though, I want to hear, Chesley, how you in this particular. I know you're not running, right? But you in this particular situation in the Caribbean, because let's bring it home. Let's bring it.
Yeah,
home.
Go ahead.
This particular situation in the Caribbean with Venezuela and Cuba, how would you handle it with the United States? But are you going to say that they have no option? What are you going to? How do you handle it? Let me hear your view on how.
Okay, Mr. Chesley. Before you answer, let's take a break and you can come back and answer right. Because we're due a break. Okay.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
This Valentine's Day, celebrate love with a taste of something truly special. From the heart of Port Zante, St. Kitts Chocolate Factory presents the Valentine's Sweet Package. 3 delightful options crafted to match your moment. Option 1, just $99. 4 handcrafted locally made chocolates. 4 chocolate dipped strawberries. A simple sweet gesture that says, I'm thinking of you. Option 2, $135. 6 gourmet chocolates. 4 chocolate dipped strawberries. 1 small teddy bear. A balanced blend of flavor and charm. Perfect for sharing. Option 3, $189. 9 assorted chocolates, 6 chocolate dipped strawberries, a cuddly teddy bear. Our deluxe package for when you want to go all out. Handcrafted with love, locally made with pride, wrapped in romance, ready for you. Place your order today. WhatsApp or call 762-3232 or 764-7860. Find us at Port Zante, directly across from the marina. Just look for the sign and follow your heart. St. Kitts Chocolate Factory, where love is always in season.
Let TDC Financial Services help you go for your goals. Whether you're thinking of taking that grand vacation, down payment on a house, higher education, TDC Financial Services has various plans that will allow you to go for your goals. Choose from the Accumulator Plus, Investment Starter Plan, and Fixed Deposit. Ready to go for your goals? Visit us at TDC Financial Services, where money is made easy.
Come, build with us at Hostels Building and Neva Centers. We don't just sell materials, we help you build your dreams. Whether it's a new home, a renovation, or a DIY project, we're here to make it happen. That's why we say, build with us. From foundation to finish, come to our stores where we have the best in building materials, hardware, tools, paints, expert advice, and more. Whatever you need, you can count on us. So if you're ready to get started, build with us. With Hostels Building and Neva Centers, you're not just building a structure, you're building a future. Let us help you create something amazing. Dream with us, plan with us, grow with us, build with us. Come build with us at Hostels Building and Neva Centers today. Build with us at Hostels.
Don't throw those bottles away. Turn them into money today. Vitamalt bottles equal cash in your pocket. It's super easy. Just take those empty Vitamalt bottles to any Cara Brewery distribution truck or any drinks depot in St. Kitts and Nevis. We're keeping our beautiful Twin Island paradise clean. Vitamalt bottles equal cash back. Keep it clean, keep it green. Vitamalt bottle returns. Your bottles, your cash, your island.
People make the world go.
And we're back. The time is 11:33, and we're getting kind of heated in here. But these are the kind of discussions we don't usually have, and the kind of discussion that we really should have. And I saw in the last bit of a discussion a trend that is very obvious to those who want to see it, and that trend is this. Our Caribbean leaders, for the most part, and most of them are men, they have no spine, one, and Mr. McMahon used the word principle, and principle is supposed to be a mutual thing. The United States and the West feels that principle is supposed to be from its subordinates, but it is supposed to be clandestine. That is not going to work. At some point, even the people who you oppress would understand. Imagine, someone is coming and they're beating you and you're saying, sir, I hear what you're saying, I'm trying to comply. And they're beating you and you say, sir, I'm trying to comply. And they keep doing it. At what point will you become clandestine just like them? Because you then understand that it's only by being clandestine that you have perhaps a chance of survival. Those are the facts of life. Go ahead, Mr. Hamilton. You were asked a question.
Is dealing with the whole issue of the U.S. and Venezuela. Is there any doubt that the U.S. went into Venezuela for oil? And it wasn't about, quote unquote,
drugs,
narco terrorists,
trafficking,
narco trading? The answer is clear. So, did they go for... so, it depends on who you are in the story. If you are Trinidad, you have your position is consistent and has always been consistent. If you are the Eastern Caribbean and you are benefiting from Venezuelan oil, etc., you have a different position. And you should have a different position and principle. You should craft a statement if you're in the OEC as something to say, Venezuela is our neighbor. They've always been there with them. We stand by with the Bolivarian people and with the Bolivarian revolution. And, however, we support any efforts to help us deal with the narco trade, because guns, which come from America, we don't make no guns. The guns, the illegal guns, and the narco trade has caused us severe whatever, and therefore we are hoping that these issues will be resolved for the benefit of our region.
Yeah.
That's how you craft a statement. If you're in the OECS, because you can't fight it alone, you need those assets to fight it. You need them. But if you're in the position of Trinidad and Tobago, where the U.S. will invest in with Exxon, the kind of investment that is going on in Guyana. Guyana is the fastest growing economy in this hemisphere.
Yeah.
Okay? You want that sort of alignment with the U.S. and the U.S. investment with Exxon. That has always been your policy when it comes to oil and gas and trade policy has always been different from Venezuela. When Kamala said if Venezuela touch Guyana, they touch Trinidad, everybody was laughing. They were laughing. Because what kind of army Trinidad has? They could go with the Venezuelan. Again, consistent with saying I and my interest with oil and gas and my interest with is consistent with what the U.S. is doing. That is one position. And I ask nobody else to buy into it. But it is that the position of Trinidad, Guyana, and the U.S. is consistent for what they need to have vis-a-vis Venezuela. And if the U.S. pretext, listen to the word, use the phrase, if the pretext is that they are going after the narco trade, and that is going to help the kidnapping, the guns, the drugs reduce, and crime reduce in Trinidad and Tobago, who is getting the benefit of that? You don't have to put all the money and resources into it, and therefore on the ground, your country is better now shaped for investment and economic development and trade. I do not see how that flies in the face of anything. 80% of Trinidad and Tobago's trade is with the United States of America.
Okay, Mr. Chesley, I hear you, but here's the problem, though. I hear you, and I agree with everything that you said. But out of what you said is the paramount problem. And the problem is, and even the word Bolivian revolution, that is a part of the problem. Because that, you see that history of that Bolivian revolution? This is why Latin America had better wake up and understand and smell the coffee and understand what is happening. You see that thing that Bad Bunny, that artist, did in the U.S.? Mm. That was a slap in the U.S. face. Mm-hmm. He was saying to the U.S., this isn't about, he said, God bless the United States of America. And then he said in Spanish, be it. You know what he was saying? The United States forget that the Americas is not just the United States of America. You understand? Mm-hmm. The Americas is South America, North America, and the Caribbean. And that is why he called out all those names. The man was making a political statement as an artist. And one of the reasons why those black individuals, those who are talking about foundational blacks, were so angry is because they felt, and I said it, they are a bunch of house Negroes. Because they forgot the history of them in America. And all they saw was American flag. How dare he? We are the you are the what? With your history? They don't have any use for you. The slave master really didn't have any use for the house Negro. Look at when the house Negro made one little mistake and see what the slave master did. He put them out in the field just like everybody else, tore their clothes off, and whipped them soundly within an inch of their life. But then because they were able to crawl back in the house, their wounds were healed, And then when Massa said jump, they made sure they jumped. They still felt they were better than the field slave. You understand? And so, Mr. Chesley, with all that you said, here's the problem. The Caribbean needs to understand that we need to unite. We cannot continue this fragmentation. The Bolivian Revolution is a traitor act. Because the Bolivian Revolution would never have succeeded if not for Haiti. And what did the leader of the Bolivian Revolution do after? He had agreed. You know what he did? He turned on the Negroes who helped him to win that revolution. I tell you, I know my history, you know. I don't mess around when it comes to history, because unless you know your history, you're going to always capitulate and find yourself back. What is it said? What Marcus Garvey said? You forget your roots, you forget your history, and you will do what?
Repeat the worst aspect of it.
You will relive it. So here's it. Kamala will take her stance and not realize it is a fragmentation. Guyana will take its stance and not realize it is a fragmentation. Venezuela was taking its stance and did not realize it is a fragmentation. And that is why that young man, Bad Bunny, an entertainer, who everybody seems to look down on entertainment. Remember during COVID, the ruling party was saying entertainment isn't a job. You remember that? It isn't a job. But this one individual was able to raise over $400 million for his country. You understand that? Not 100 million, which is a lot of money. Not 200 million, not $400 million. And for the first time in 80 years, his country doesn't have to pay the U.S. a debt. So young people, even though they are few, there are some young people who know their history and who are saying, imagine he did it in the smack in America in the Super Bowl, slap in your face. So this is why I continuously disagree with Mr. McMahon that you must acquiesce, because he didn't acquiesce. He remembered what the U.S. did to Puerto Rico and what Puerto Rico is still going through. But our youths now in the Caribbean, they prefer to follow a culture that makes them push their pants down and show their behinds as if they are prostitutes.
The third limb to the whole issue of the Venezuela is that you have to then take the Cuban aspect of it into play as well.
You have
So you deal with what is going on with Trinidad. You deal with what's going on in the OECS. And you have to also then take into account what's going on with Cuba.
Yes.
So you can't have one position.
You cannot.
That's what I keep saying. You cannot have one position.
You cannot. Hello, caller.
Yes. How I mean you can't have one position? And that's what I mean.
When you say one position, what I mean is an individual. Let me get it clear then. You mean an individual position, Mr. McMahon? Because when I say the one position that perhaps McMahon is leaning towards, which I will agree with him if that's where he's leaning, is the one position of we are a region and we move as one.
Right.
That is where
because
I stand.
It's a matter, there's principle and there are false principles. Chesley, there's no way I would believe that Chesley is going to say that when the United States go into Venezuela and they're going to run it, and not only they say it, they're doing it, and basically saying, we're going to take the oil money, we're going to give some to the Venezuelans, we're going to take some, and by the way, no companies from Iran, China, and Russia can prospect for the resources in things. That is recolonization.
And you believe that is going to succeed?
Kind of euphemism on it.
And you believe that is going to succeed? It's twice the U.S. companies got from Venezuela in the past. Twice.
I'm saying.
And this time? The removal of Maduro and his vice president been put in place. You believe the infrastructure in Venezuela disappeared overnight?
Time will tell that whether or not they're going to succeed or not. But in the meantime, I am saying that you should put on record that we oppose any kind of colonization, right? We can't have it when the history is written. It is said that.
How long it took us to speak out against the embargo in Cuba? How long? How long it take us as a region in the Caribbean to speak out on the U.S. embargo on Cuba?
In the UN, we have always been doing that.
Not always. Come on, not always.
I don't count.
Come on, not always.
I don't count the UN.
Come on, not always.
The UN is of no moment for me.
But the point is, we don't want the history, when history is written, that it seemed as if the CARICOM region supported the recolonization of places in the Caribbean. We don't want that. So it should be placed on record, even though we cannot influence events now. Put it on record that the Caribbean as a collective did not support this. That includes Trinidad, because there's no way you're going to convince me. Even though Trinidad, I agree with you.
I can't even tell you that what happened in Venezuela is regime change.
No.
I can't even tell you if it's regime change.
No. What it is colonization.
No.
What do you mean no?
It is primarily, it is the thieving of Venezuelan oil. That's it.
Mr. Chesley Hamilton, I agree with Mr. McMahon there. It is a subtle move towards recolonization. That is what it is.
The British used to have us. We could only buy cars from Britain.
Yeah, that is what it is.
Those kinds of nonsense there. What is that? There's no such thing as sovereignty in those kind of circumstances, and you cannot, again, Quint, as we always say, it goes back. We went for them.
Are you saying that the vice president of Venezuela has capitulated and doing the bidding of the U.S. government right now?
No.
That's what you're saying?
No.
That's how you see that?
No? But that's what they said.
That they can say what they want. That's what propaganda is.
Well, until we see different, because you notice they're still blowing up the boats, eh?
That tells you. That tells you what Mr. Hamilton is saying is true, because they're still blowing up the boats. They're still seizing ships So what has really changed?
Exactly. So when he says, will they be successful? It is clear that what is different this time is that the U.S. president is prepared to use military power, and it comes down to the bottom line. Justly, that.
But some of the U.S. companies have said that the Venezuela is not investable.
But you're making it seem as if the U.S. government don't have control over the U.S. companies. They run in lockstep, Chesley.
No, they do not have control. Look.
U.S. companies don't have control of the...
Donald Trump will say all that he wants. There are companies that simply say they're not putting their money into Venezuela under those circumstances.
And here's one of the reasons, Mr. McMahon. They blame Trump for what they're in, because it was Trump in his first term who put the embargo and caused all the oil that thick oil that was going through those pipelines to stay there and turn into rock. So all of that infrastructure now will have to be removed for them to go back and they're looking at that investment and they're saying it doesn't add up.
Look, if you think that U.S. multinational corporations and big...
There are some, Mr. McMahon.
Don't run the U.S. government.
But you're putting it wrong. Yes, they run the government, but you were putting it that Trump runs the corporations. And we're saying no. The corporations knows what is their bottom line. They know what benefits them. And a lot of them are saying no.
But you think the investment, the hundreds of $millions that China has in Venezuela is going to go for naught?
that is another thing.
And what do you think they could do about it? Let me hear you.
Really? Who control the majority of US debt?
The most they'll do about
Who
it.
control the majority of US debt?
They don't understand this
The most they'll do
thing.
about it is trade Taiwan for.
But who control the US debt?
Look,
Who control the majority of US debt?
If US default on the debt, what China going to do? Bomb the US?
You don't have to bomb the US.
But what?
You all got to understand this geopolitical thing, you know.
But Mr.
I
McMahon,
don't think we quite grasp
but Mr. McMahon, again, you prove me right, you know, because you're saying you're speaking out of one side of your mouth, and every time you come back around to say indirectly that we must do what the U.S. says.
And if they default on the debt and you stop taking the US dollar, what can happen to the US economy?
No. You see, again, look at history. You remember in 1853 how they got Japan. Japan was a closed economy, you know. They were doing fine by themselves. And the United States, Admiral Perry, with a fleet of warships, sailed into Tokyo Harbor and tell the Japanese, we think that you should trade with us. You know? In other words, at the point of a gun, right? And so I'm saying...
But Chesley asked you a question just a while ago, and you didn't answer it because it fits into what you just said. You think that is going to continuously happen? Look at what the world is doing right now. The U.S. is expediting its own demise,
Amen.
and it doesn't even want to realize it. You can say what you want. Yeah, they're up there with them, but the world has come to realize that the U.S., in the trajectory that it's on, it intends to govern by the gun and by power, and the rest of the world, they will not stand and by and let it happen. And as powerful as the U.S. is, just watch and see how history is going to play out.
Well, I think in your and my lifetime, the demise ain't going to come.
But you keep saying that you expect this thing to be short term, and we're saying that we don't expect it to be. That is why Mr. Chesley told you about what erosion does. We understand what we know the world we're living in, you know.
That's the hope. Yes, that's the hope.
So you're saying, and this is why. Look, I know how you stand. You know, you might try to deny it as much as you want. You feel that U.S. hegemony, we have no recourse to it.
Right now, I think.
And you feel that we must just give in.
No.
You do because every time we give you scope, Mr. McMahon, you bring us right back around to remind us
we have no choice.
We have no choice. That is what he's doing. We're not fools, you know, Mr. McMahon.
But
Chesley is a very sharp brain over there, and I would like to think that I'm a sharp one too, just like you.
I am sure. And at the same time, though, right? You hear him excusing, and that's the thing. You can understand somebody.
No, Mr. McMahon, you believe in a unitary and a unified and unitary approach. I believe in a multifaceted approach.
And another point to Mr. McMahon. Mr. McMahon, there's another aspect to Mr. Chesley that we're not realizing, that I realize, and I'm going to call it out. Mr. McMahon, Mr. Chesley Hamilton is not like the Caribbean leaders who chose their comrades under the bus. He is a defense lawyer, he has a colleague, and he will defend his colleague. It is in his DNA. It is not. It is somehow, sadly, somehow. I'm going to let you make your point. Somehow, sadly, it is not in the DNA of our leaders to be loyal and to have moral scruples. Scruples, right. Principles, same thing. Yeah. They will throw you under the bus as quick as a wink. Mr. Chesley Hamilton is showing he has scruples. He has a relationship. He has a relationship with Camilla, a personal relationship that we don't have, So you expect the man to go and choke?
That don't mean if she's wrong, he shouldn't call her.
But he didn't say that she's. But he did not say that she's
question
right.
you didn't answer, I asked you a question if wrong and right are absolutes.
And I answered. I told you you forget the answer. Listen to the answer again. There are different. There are different shades of grey.
Oh.
But at some point along the continuum, there are some things that are definitely black, and there are some things that are definitely white.
But Mr.
Okay? And Chesley, Quint just gave his impression. I would give mine about Chesley Hamilton, the
lawyer.
super lawyer.
Yeah.
The super lawyer. Right? In this world, right, there are issues that, you put it this way, you can find something to justify just about anything. Right? As a lawyer, I suppose maybe that's how you're going to think.
Well, I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to tell you this, okay?
Wrong, you could find a justification for it. And maybe that's what a definition of a good lawyer is.
But that's not supposed to be the domain of only the white, rich and powerful. Okay? I'm going to go back to your religion, and Greg, if he's listening, might like this one. Okay? Judas is vilified, the most vilified person in the Bible. What did Judas do to Christ? He gave him a lot of love. He gave him a hug and a kiss. But he rat out Christ in so doing. And that's why he's the most vilified person. He wasn't loyal in the Bible. Peter, on the other hand, lied and said, I don't know man who he is, and denied Christ. A liar. Christ built his church on the rock called Peter. I said that to say this to you, that Quinn touched on something when he said about loyalty. And that's why I asked you the questions about absolutes. Because before I even go on to lie, I will remain silent. Because that's a right Christ exercised in the Bible.
Me too.
Before Pontius Pilate. Before Pontius Pilate, when Pontius Pilate pointed a finger at him and said certain things, he remained silent. And then he said, no. When they lie on him, he said, they say I'm the king of the Jews, not me. I am simply showing you how principle and loyalty work even with your beliefs. And I'm simply saying to you, it's not about justifying anything. It's about being principled and loyal. And that is what Quint has brought home to you.
Would you be loyal to something that is wrong?
And I ask you again, what do you think is wrong? Because what you think is wrong can be to my benefit. And therefore...
No. So because it's to your benefit...
But hear this, Mr. McMahon. Here's what Mr. Hamilton is saying to you.
Yeah.
All that America is doing and all that Trump is doing, it is wrong, But nobody is blaming him.
To whose benefit?
Here's what the world is saying. Oh, well, why don't you become democratic? Why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? Nobody's calling him out and saying, we didn't have to be here if you didn't do the things you're doing. You're wrong in doing it and stop it. No. We're trying to find all kind of jump here and hot plate there. And
we are not principled. We are not principled. Chesley would say, well, Trump has his loyal people, regardless of what he does. He put a command on loyalty.
But that is what the Canadian Prime Minister said. It's time that we stop living the life. You need to go listen to the Canadian Prime Minister's speech.
Chesley,
to be grounded.
Chesley and Mr. McMahon, Chesley and Mr. McMahon, you keep doing the same thing.
Sorry.
Chesley, you keep hearing McMahon speaking and you're speaking over him. Mr. McMahon, you hear Chesley speaking, you're speaking over him. We're out of time though. We can always pick back up this another time.
Sure.
Mr. McMahon, thanks for your input this week. Do enjoy your Valentine if you celebrate those things. You know, do your manly and lovingly duties, and if those things make an impression upon you.
The soft side of Chesley.
I try to be well-rounded. You know, it is not a soft side or underbelly and a hard side. You know. I try to be multifaceted.
Yeah.
I tell you, you must have a multifaceted approach to many of these things. It's not either or. It's not wrong and right. It's not up and down.
Yeah.
And I said you should always try to be principled. That's right in the field of multifaceted.
Principle doesn't mean you just got to be one mind and one tract.
Okay, we have come to the end of another session. It's 2 minutes moving away from the 12 o'clock hour. As always, it has been a pleasure. And what we do here, we show that men can come together, be heated in an argument, and we don't walk away enemies, okay? We walk away respecting each other's opinion and each other's stance on things. Do take care.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Come, build with us at Hostels Building and Neva Centers. We don't just sell materials, we help you build your dreams. Whether it's a new home, a renovation, or a DIY project, we're here to make it happen. That's why we say, build with us. From foundation to finish, come to our stores where we have the best in building materials, hardware, tools, paints, expert advice, and more. Whatever you need, you can count on us. So if you're ready to get started, build with us. With Hostels Building and Neva Centers, you're not just building a structure, you're building a future. Let us help you create something amazing. Dream with